Hey guys, welcome to Y&R Daily Update YouTube channel. Today's topics: Clare's showdown with Audra, power struggles and betrayals in Genoa City. The air in Genoa City has thickened and the brewing storm of emotional turmoil is about to explode. The ongoing battle for control, both in business and in personal lives, reaches a boiling point when Clare Newman finds herself at the center of a devastating emotional confrontation. The woman scorned, Clare discovers a moment of betrayal that shatters her perception of loyalty and trust, leaving her caught in a whirlwind of jealousy, power, and revenge. The drama unfolds in The Young and the Restless, where the stakes are higher than ever, and betrayal runs deep. The confrontation begins unexpectedly on a seemingly innocent evening that will soon take a sharp turn. Audra, with her flirtatious and seductive charm, initiates a kiss that shocks everyone around her, especially Kyle. Clare, who had been in a relationship with Kyle, is forced to witness the unexpected and painful sight of Audrey kissing him passionately. But this isn't just an ordinary kiss. It's a public display that cuts deep, triggering a raw emotional response from Clare. A response that will set off a series of intense actions. Kyle, realizing the depth of the situation and the irreparable damage it could cause, scrambles to explain himself. His words are desperate, defensive, and yet he tries to convince Clare that the kiss from Audra was entirely unsolicited. Kay swears on his loyalty to Clare, but the damage is done. The hurt in Clare's eyes is undeniable, and no amount of pleading can erase the betrayal she feels in her heart. However, Clare, though devastated, knows that she cannot let this go unanswered. She realizes that Audra's actions go beyond the physical kiss. This is part of a much larger, more complex web of deceit that Audra has been carefully weaving. Clare's trust has been shattered, and she knows that the only way to truly regain control over the situation is to assert her power. She may have been blindsided by Audrey's actions, but Clare has never been one to shrink away from a confrontation. Her next move will define not just her relationship with Kyle, but the power dynamics between the women in this tangled web. In a tense moment of reckoning, Clare decides to take matters into her own hands. Her plan is calculated, ruthless, and brilliantly executed. Instead of merely confronting Audra directly in an emotional outburst, Clare decides to play her cards strategically. She intends to let Nate in on the secrets she has uncovered. Secrets that could jeopardize both Audrey's reputation and her relationship with him. Clare understands that the power in Genoa City lies in controlling information, and she will use it to her advantage. Audra, now realizing that the walls are closing in on her, begins to panic. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. She has long been playing a dangerous game. Her flirtations with Kyle, a mere distraction from the bigger plot she has been running. An audacious attempt to seduce and manipulate Victor Newman for her own gain. This plan has been carefully orchestrated, with Audra calculating each move to align herself with the powerful forces that could make her untouchable. But Clare's involvement threatens to expose everything, and Audra knows that she must act fast to cover her tracks. However, Clare's patience is running thin. She will not allow Audra to use her charm to distract from the reality of the situation. Clare decides to confront Audra face to face, not with rage, but with a calm, cold determination. The moment is coming when Clare will assert her dominance and make it clear that she is the one in control of the situation. Her actions will not only disrupt Audrey's carefully laid plans, but could also create a wedge between Audra and Nate. Clare understands that relationships built on secrets and lies are fragile, and she intends to shatter them. As the tension escalates, the battle between these two women intensifies. Clare's every word and move becomes more calculated, and her power grows stronger. She recognizes that her influence over Nate could turn the tide in her favor. But the question remains, will Nate be swayed by Clare's revelations, or will he stand by Audra in the face of this explosive confrontation? The stakes are high, and the consequences of Clare's actions ripple through every relationship she touches. What began as a simple moment of jealousy has blossomed into a full-blown power struggle, and neither Clare nor Audra is willing to back down. The struggle for control over Kyle, Nate, and even Victor is far from over, and the battle lines are clearly drawn. As Clare takes control of the situation, the question remains whether Audra can salvage her position in Genoa City, or if she will fall victim to the consequences of her own manipulations. Clare's revenge is not just about punishing Audra for her betrayal, but about reclaiming the power that Audra had tried to steal away. In this world where loyalty is fleeting and ambition knows no bounds, Clare is determined to come out on top. her strength, her intelligence, and her resolve will be the deciding factors in this thrilling battle of wills. In the latest developments of The Young and the Restless, Clare Newman finds herself at a crossroads, torn between the fragile trust in her relationship with Kyle and the dark tendencies buried within her past. As she grapples with her emotions, Clare is faced with an increasingly complex web of betrayal, secrets, and heartache. Despite Kyle's best efforts to restore and maintain their connection, the future of their relationship seems uncertain. The drama unfolds as Clare's darker instincts begin to emerge, putting everyone around her at risk. Clare has always been portrayed as the good girl, the one who everyone believes will always do the right thing. But as the show delves deeper into her backstory, it becomes apparent that Clare is far from the picture of innocence. With a history that involves manipulation and ruthlessness, Clare has shown that she's capable of making difficult and sometimes dangerous decisions to achieve her goals. This complex side of her character, hidden beneath the surface of sweetness, is finally starting to surface, raising the stakes in her ongoing emotional journey. While Clare has worked hard to establish her place within the tight-knit community of Genoa City, her past still looms over her. She finds herself torn between the person she once was and the person she aspires to be. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. The dark impulses she has long suppressed are beginning to resurface, and she struggles with whether she should embrace these tendencies or fight them. Trust on the brink. The crux of Clare's emotional dilemma revolves around trust, or rather, her inability to trust others, especially Kyle. Her relationship with him has always been a source of strength for her, but now that relationship is starting to unravel. Kyle, ever the optimist, is determined to make things work between them, but his efforts may be in vain. As Clare's insecurities grow, fueled by doubts and past experiences, her ability to trust him falters. Kyle's actions, while always aimed at reassuring her, are slowly driving a wedge between them. He can't fully understand the depths of her fears, and with every attempt to calm her, Clare becomes more distant. She is caught in a vicious cycle, unsure of whether to lean on Kyle or push him away entirely. As their relationship faces a critical point, the audience is left wondering, will Clare overcome her trust issues and allow herself to be vulnerable with Kyle, or will her fears destroy everything they built together? The tension between them escalates, especially as Clare is forced to confront the reality of her own emotions and desires. Clare's rising dark side. Though Clare may appear sweet and naive, her character arc is veering into dangerous territory. As the story progresses, Clare's inner darkness begins to take center stage. Her potential for manipulation and ruthless behavior is becoming evident, and her ability to strategize and deceive others, traits she learned from her Aunt Jordan, is growing stronger. She's already shown hints of this dark side in subtle moments, but as her frustration with the people around her builds, there's no telling how far she might go. Clare's jealousy and resentment toward Audra intensify, and she begins to feel trapped by her own feelings. The confrontation with Audra becomes inevitable. Audra has been a thorn in Clare's side for some time, and the growing rivalry between them has reached a boiling point. Audra's bold moves and flirtations with Kyle have pushed Clare to the edge. But Clare is not someone to back down easily. While Audrey continues to provoke Clare with her coy behavior, Clare decides it's time to take matters into her own hands. Rather than letting Audra's games continue unchecked, Clare opts for a more calculated approach. She plans to get revenge her way. The tension between the two women escalates, and Clare's actions will force Nate and Audra into a compromising position. Clare's clever manipulations could ruin their professional and personal lives, leaving both of them vulnerable to the fallout. A complex and dangerous choice. The complexity of Clare's internal struggle intensifies as she faces the dilemma of whether to stay true to herself or embrace the darker parts of her nature. Her decision to retaliate against Audra is not just about revenge. It's about reclaiming power. In her eyes, Kyle is slipping away from her, and if she can't control him through love, she might just resort to control through fear. Her desire for validation and security leads her down a dangerous path, one that could destroy not only her relationship with Kyle, but also her standing within the community. This dynamic brings to the forefront a key question. How far will Clare go to secure her place in Kyle's life? Will she continue to battle her trust issues, or will she embrace the ruthless tendencies that lurk beneath her polished exterior? As Clare grapples with these questions, her darker side becomes more pronounced, threatening to pull her into a world of manipulation and deceit from which there may be no return. The fallout, the aftermath of Clare's actions, could send shock waves through Genoa City. With her vendetta against Audra escalating, it's only a matter of time before the truth comes to light. The fallout from Clare's calculated moves will affect not only her, but also the people closest to her. Kay will be forced to reckon with his own feelings for Clare and confront whether he can forgive her for the emotional damage she may cause. Audra and Nate too will find themselves entangled in the web Clare weaves, struggling to navigate the complex dynamics she sets in motion. As Clare's dark side takes center stage, the stakes rise and the repercussions of her actions will echo throughout the storyline. The audience is left wondering, will Clare find redemption, or will she succumb to the very darkness she's tried to suppress? Conclusion. The tension builds as The Young and the Restless continues to explore Clare's journey. The show delves deep into the complexities of love, trust, and power. Clare's struggle between her desire for affection and her need for control will push her to make dangerous decisions that could have lasting consequences. In the end, the question remains, can Clare hold on to the love and trust of Kyle, or will her darker impulses ruin everything she holds dear? Clare is on a conflicted path in her life. A path she never expected when she started her relationship with Kyle. Her docile, gentle appearance makes it easy for people to believe that Clare is just a simple girl who has never faced any major challenges in her life. But in reality, what people don't know is that she has gone through a complicated past and repressed emotions that no one knows about. Inside, Clare is a completely different person. Although she always tries to keep a gentle appearance, her sinister and ability to play mind games make Clare a person that no one can easily predict. The secrets from her past, the trauma she has suffered, have formed in Clare a strong instinct for self-preservation. And when she sees Audra, who Clare could never consider a friend, start to encroach on her life, everything begins to change. Audra, with her competence and power plays, becomes a puppet that Clare can control. Clare not only hates Audra's behavior, but she also feels threatened by this woman. Audra is a living image of everything Clare hates: insincerity, calculation, and hidden tricks. No one can make Clare feel that way but Audra. And as Clare begins to realize that she is facing an inevitable battle, she decides that she will not stand by and watch, but will act. The first step in Clare's plan is to make Audra face her own actions. Clare is not the type to forgive those who dare to touch her life. To do that, she must discover Audra's weaknesses and figure out how to exploit them. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. It is not a simple game. This is a war that Clare is well prepared for, not only mentally, but also strategically. Meanwhile, Clare's relationship with Kyle begins to show signs of cracks. Although Kyle does everything he can to keep their relationship together, Clare's insecurities grow. Questions about trust, honesty, and betrayal seem to haunt her every day. Clare is not only afraid that Kyle will be lured away by other women, but also worried about whether she can fully trust him in a world full of intrigue and lies. Their relationship is at a critical juncture. Clare cannot easily overcome her doubts, and negative emotions begin to influence her decisions. She begins to wonder if she can continue to love Kyle when what she sees increasingly disappoints her. The arguments, the ambiguous looks, and the unclear words gradually pull them further apart. Although Clare tries to keep things peaceful, deep down she knows that this relationship will not last long without real change. And while Kyle tries to mend things, Clare can't help but think about their future. Can she continue to live in a relationship where she no longer feels safe and loved? Or will she choose another path where she can control everything as she wants? All the relationships around Clare give her mixed feelings. She can't help but feel tired of Audra's games, but at the same time, she also feels a need to keep Kyle by her side. But does Clare have the courage to face the dark truths about herself, about the relationship she has built? And can she truly escape the shadow of the past to live a new life, free and no longer dominated by the ghosts in her heart? These questions will be the key to a major turning point in Clare's life. The decisions she makes will not only affect her future, but those around her. Her relationship with Kyle may never be the same again. But will Clare learn to love and forgive herself? Or will she continue to follow the path of her Aunt Jordan, someone she has always seen as a model of strength and self-fulfillment? Clare's story is not just one of revenge, but also one of finding herself in a world filled with betrayal and suspicion. And when she finally makes her decision, what matters most is not revenge or victory, but whether she can learn to live with herself. Subscribe to our channel to stay updated with the latest news. The video transcript centers around a dramatic power struggle and emotional turmoil unfolding in Genoa City, primarily focusing on Clare Newman's intense conflict with Audra. Clare once in a trusting relationship with Kyle, experiences a shattering betrayal when Audra publicly kisses him, igniting a fierce battle marked by jealousy, manipulation, and revenge. Clare recognizes that Audra's actions are part of a larger, calculated scheme to manipulate powerful figures like Victor Newman, which threatens Clare's own standing and relationships. Rather than reacting impulsively, Clare chooses a strategic and ruthless path, leveraging secrets and information to expose Audra and destabilize her alliances, especially with Nate. This confrontation escalates into a complex power play where Clare's darker, more manipulative tendencies begin to surface, revealing a side of her that contrasts sharply with her previously perceived innocence. The story delves deep into Clare's internal struggle between her desire for love and trust, particularly with Kyle, and the darker impulses driving her toward control and fear-based tactics. As Clare grapples with her past traumas, insecurities, and the complexity of her emotions, her relationship with Kyle deteriorates under the weight of mistrust and unresolved doubts. Meanwhile, Clare's rivalry with Audra intensifies, threatening to upend multiple relationships and alliances. The narrative raises critical questions about Clare's future, whether she will find redemption and embrace vulnerability or succumb to the ruthless, manipulative side of her nature modeled after her Aunt Jordan. Ultimately, the story paints a vivid portrait of a woman caught between love, betrayal, ambition, and self-preservation, setting the stage for a dramatic turning point that will have far-reaching consequences for Clare, Kyle, Audra, and others in Genoa City. Clare Newman faces a devastating betrayal when Audra publicly kisses Kyle, igniting a fierce emotional and power struggle. Audra's kiss is revealed to be part of a larger, manipulative scheme involving Victor Newman. Clare adopts a strategic and ruthless approach, using secrets to undermine Audra and regain control. Clare's darker, manipulative tendencies emerge, challenging her previously innocent image. Clare's relationship with Kyle deteriorates under the strain of mistrust and jealousy. The rivalry between Clare and Audra escalates, threatening multiple personal and professional relationships. The story raises profound questions about Clare's future. Will she find redemption or fall deeper into darkness? Betrayal as a catalyst for transformation. Clare's emotional devastation after witnessing Audra's public kiss with Kyle serves as the pivotal moment that triggers her transformation from a trusting partner to a strategic, power-driven player. This shift highlights how betrayal can fundamentally alter a person's behavior and priorities, especially in high-stakes environments like Genoa City. Clare's response is not just emotional but calculated, signaling her evolution into a more complex and formidable character. Manipulation and power play in personal relationships. Audra's calculated flirtation with Kyle is not merely a romantic entanglement but a deliberate distraction from her broader ambitions involving Victor Newman. This reflects a common theme in soap operas where personal relationships are weaponized as tools for gaining influence and control. Audra's maneuvers demonstrate how power struggles often intertwine with intimate dynamics, complicating loyalties and trust. Information as power in social conflicts. Clare's decision to weaponize secrets against Audra underscores the critical role of information control in social and business conflicts within Genoa City. Her understanding that revealing damaging truths can destabilize opponents reveals a sophisticated approach to conflict resolution beyond mere confrontation. This tactic reflects real-world dynamics where knowledge and confidentiality often dictate influence and power. Duality of character and the emergence of dark traits. Clare's character arc reveals a dual nature while she maintains an outward appearance of sweetness and innocence. Her inner world harbors manipulative and ruthless tendencies inherited from her Aunt Jordan. This complexity adds depth to her persona, showing that individuals are often shaped by their past traumas and survival instincts, which may conflict with their desired self-image. The emergence of Clare's darker side raises questions about identity and moral ambiguity. Fragility of trust in relationships. Under duress. Clare and Kyle's relationship serves as a microcosm of how trust can be strained by jealousy, insecurity, and external interference. Despite Kyle's efforts to repair the damage, Clare's growing doubts create an emotional wedge that threatens to unravel their bond. This dynamic illustrates the delicate balance required to maintain trust, especially when past experiences and fears influence perceptions and reactions. Rivalry as a driving force for character development and plot. The escalating conflict between Clare and Audra functions as a catalyst for revealing deeper motivations, vulnerabilities, and strategic thinking. Their rivalry is not just personal but symbolic of broader themes of power, control, and survival in a competitive social environment. The tension between them forces both characters to evolve and adapt, driving the narrative forward with high stakes and emotional intensity. Asterisk the dilemma of redemption versus descent into darkness. Asterisk Clare's internal struggle between embracing her darker impulses or seeking forgiveness and love presents a compelling moral and psychological dilemma. This conflict reflects a universal human experience, the battle between self-destruction and self-preservation, between vindictiveness and vulnerability. The outcome of this struggle will not only define Clare's future but also shape the social fabric of Genoa City, making her journey a critical focal point of the storyline. This detailed exploration of Clare's emotional and strategic responses to betrayal, her emerging darker traits, and her complex relationships offers rich narrative material that examines themes of trust, power, and identity in a deeply human context.